Hi everyone, welcome back to my page, Hooked by Deep. If you're new here, thank you so much for tuning in, and if you've watched my intro video, thank you for coming back to listen to me speaking a little bit more. This video is going to be all about my bajillion whips. I have far too many. I would love to be the girl who does not have this mess over here, which I will show you in a snippet. I would love to be the girl who has one project going and then a second, I guess one whip, because I swear I have undiagnosed ADHD and I need to change things up sometimes. Which is why I think I got into this mess, because I see an idea or I come up with an idea and then the yarn obviously just coincidentally goes on sale at the same time and I have to get it, because why not get it on sale and start your project? Well, why not is because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 whips right now. That's why we don't do this. But I was inspired to go through my whips a little while ago when I watched a video from Elise Rose Crochets about going through your whips. I used some of her tips and techniques about going through my whips, and I think we might be frogging 2 of them on this video today. Just because, as in one of her tips, if it doesn't spark joy, get rid of it. I haven't touched these in a while. There's 2 more that I'm contemplating frogging, but I've gotten too far and they're too big and I just can't. My heart cannot do it. So let's start organizing these, and I will tell you the tips and tricks that I learned from Elise Rose Crochets. She also has an amazing free resource, which is a little workbook called Honey, Get Control of Your Whips. While I did not use that workbook, I've just used those little tips of hers, and all credit goes to her for those tips. I think they were really great. They came in handy for me, and it helped me really just understand what's going on with this mess over here and honestly, get control of my whips. So let's dive right into it. Okay, so this is project number 1. I am making these daisy granny squares, which I will link the pattern to below in the description box. And this is just supposed to be a little summer blanket that's just going to be thrown on the couch. The original pattern uses a gorgeous sage green on the outside here. I opted for the raspberry because I thought, you know what, it's nice, it's summery, it's bright, and a little bit different. So I went for this kind of look. So using a tip from Elise Rose Crochets, if you have multiple whips in the works and you kind of forget what's going on, like I do, you can keep little notes in whatever you're storing your whip in. So this one, because it is a bit of a bigger project, I have it stored in this bin, which at Michael's in Canada, specifically in Winnipeg, I've seen them at Garden City and St. James. These bins were on sale for, I believe, $2.99 or $3.99. They store a good amount. They're a nice size, and they're just nice to organize things in and just have everything out and visible for you. So this one, what I did is I just stuck this little note in it. It just says summer blanket, which hook size I'm using, and what I'm doing. So for some of my projects, they're not as easy as a granny square. So I just wrote work granny square, block, and join, and then I wrote the size that I'm making this blanket. So I'm doing 8 by 10 for the granny squares. Now, for some of them, it'll be more so like you're working on this row next, or like make sure you do this color change next, or you're on this stitch. But this one's fairly simple for me at least, and keeping it in this awesome container helps me keep everything organized. Which, by the way, not sponsored by Michael's, but I'm sure you'd know because it's on my second video. So, and then I have a second bag going for this because I have just another skein of yarn and also these flower parts for my granny squares, which right now, in my opinion, look like egg yolks, but I have all of them in here. And then another tip I took was doing a little bit at a time and kind of completing that little bit. So what I mean by that is I have some granny squares here on my blocking board. Now I am preferring to complete 10 at a time so I can join those 10 and get like a row of my blanket done. And when I am completing those 10, I am weaving in my ends right away. I'm horrible for weaving in ends. I hate weaving in ends. I don't care for doing that. If I'm going to be honest, I knot it really well and I just snip it off. Probably not the best practice, so maybe don't learn from me, but that's just what I do because I don't have the patience. I really suck with that. And then for that second part of just finishing things off, this looks really weird. It just looks like a little banner right now. But I just started to join all of the granny squares into the row. So this is 10 going this way. And then obviously I just had to do the other side. So this is 20 granny squares already. And it'll kind of look like this once it's all properly laid out. I will join this way once I have everything done because that'll be my 8 then. So it's just kind of nice to have something going and something partially finished, I guess, so that it inspires me a little bit more to work on this project and just get this flow going. I was pretty good at working on these. I only stopped because I finally got in some yarn for my brother's birthday present, and that has to be done soon because his birthday is at the end of June and I am expecting, and our little girly is expected mid-June. So I just need to make sure that I have his present done beforehand. So all of these are kind of on pause because that is my #1 priority. Okay, let's hop into the second whip. So this one isn't really a whip. It's a pattern that I got on Etsy, the Gerbera Daisy top. And before I actually start this top, I need to make a swatch of the daisy square. I haven't really done that. All I have done is this. So like the center of it and 1, 2, 3, 4 of the petals. I haven't touched this. So I think we know that means that I should just frog this and get back to it when I can. Because at this point, I'm not going to keep taking up space with whips on the floor beside my bed and having my husband looking up and say, oh my goodness, what is going on? Even though he never says that out loud because he's a sweetheart. But he's definitely thinking it. And with it taking up space in my head. So we just frogged this and we are going to put this one away for a later time. I will wrap all this up after and we will get into our next whip. Okay, so our next whip is a blanket made with some awesome yarn that is super duper soft, and I've been wanting to use this yarn, but it just went on clearance at my local Michael's. So anybody in Winnipeg, go check out. I went to Keniston and St. James for this one. The app wasn't really giving me the proper stock quantities. It kept saying that things were out of stock, but when I went in, it was in stock, so I would definitely suggest going in store. I will link the pattern for this blanket below. It is a free pattern, which is awesome. And so far, this is what I have. I'll just keep it folded in half, but this is what I have here. I, again, have just put this on the back burner because my brother's birthday present is much more important. And I will pick this back up again, probably when I'm done that. It's not very hard. You do your one setup row, I believe, and then it's just 2 rows repeating throughout the whole thing. And it's really nice. You can use whatever yarn, I honestly think. Like, she writes down for a medium weight. I am using a bulky, I believe this one is. Yeah, I'm using a bulky. And I think you can honestly do this with anything. It just depends on the texture you want, the colors, and all of that kind of fun stuff. But it's a really nice one to get creative with, and it's super duper easy. It's a mindless project. You can sit there, throw on a podcast, throw on a show, have a conversation with anybody you want, and just be mindlessly crocheting away at this. So the yarn I'm using for this one is Lion Brand Feels Like Cuddles. I'm using the white. I'm using this gorgeous eggplant purple. And then I bought a light blue, which is over there somewhere in my yarn storage area, and that one will be alternating between the rows of, so it goes white, purple, and then it'll be white again, and then I'll be doing blue, or however I feel like alternating it, because this is really customizable to you. And I'll just be continuing this one after. This one's not being frogged, this one's being kept, and it's staying in our list of whips. Okay, our next whip is another wearable. This one, I clearly don't have many notes on. So my little paper says project notes, hook, and then it's blank, row, blank. I saw this on a YouTube video, and instead of going back and forth in the video, what I like to do sometimes for video patterns is I just write it down, whether it's in my notebook or my iPad. I wrote this on my iPad. I didn't check my iPad, and I didn't fill this in. But this one's gonna go in the frog pile because I haven't been gravitated towards fixing it or finishing it, and I don't think I will be. Not at least, not right now. I think I kind of want to make these cozy blankets that my little girl can cuddle up in one day. I made her some of her own separate ones, but I think I just want to stick on this roll of blankets that I have going. And this is the top. It's worked in long panels, so it looks like that. But I think sadly this one's gonna get frogged, even though it hurts me to do this. It's just not something I've gravitated towards in a while. It is very gorgeous, but I need to knock something off the list. So this poor baby is getting knocked off the list, but I do want to continue this one day. Okay, so our next whip is another wearable. It is this really pretty pattern. It's a V-stitch, and it's going to be a cardigan that is for the summer, nice and lightweight. And this was actually my first time ordering off of Mary Maxim. I ordered this Premier Bamboo Fair yarn. Definitely different than what I normally work with. I like to work with weight 4 a lot and then weight 6 mostly. This one's a weight 3. It is so silky and so soft though, and I love the color, and I just wanted a timeless piece that I can always wear and just whip out whenever I need something just light and easy to throw on, especially in the summer. So this one I am going to continue. I am going to be working on this, but again, my brother's present takes priority, so this one's kind of been thrown on the back burner. But I think this will be like a little work as you go kind of piece whenever I get a chance. I'm not really on a timeline with a lot of my projects unless they're presents, and especially with baby girly coming, she's #1 priority, so all these things will just be happening whenever they happen. But this one's definitely going in my keep pile. Okay, the next one is another wearable. It is a mesh top that I've seen a pattern for on YouTube. I thought it's really cute. I had an additional Karen cotton cake left over from a hex top that I made for my brother, and I thought I'll make this with it. Now this one's really neat. I can also link the tutorial for this one. I like that you can get creative with it. So she lets you know about the repeat rows that you're gonna keep working, but you can work them however you want. So I think I'm gonna make this one a bit funky and do the back different than the front panel, and then like each of the arms be slightly different, unless that really triggers my undiagnosed OCD. I don't know, but I have one panel done and I am working on the second panel. This one I used, okay, yeah, so it says to alter between whatever the stitches are. So it's triple crochet, double crochet, half double crochet, single crochet. And then it says YouTube pattern green top, so I can go back and check for the sleeves. And then I put 8mm hook with a question mark because I believe I used that hook and I believe it was bigger than what she used in the video. And I think I did that just for the sake of having this work up quick, and that it's just really nice and airy and flowy and just a chunkier piece overall. So this one's definitely going into the whip pile still. We're not frogging this one. I still have quite a bit of my cake left. And for the part that I've worked up now, it's only a few rows. I thought I had a bit more, but it's only this little bit. So I guess we'll just figure it out as we go. Again, not on my priority list. It's not a gift, it's for me, so it'll happen when it happens. Okay, so next on the whip list is a blanket that I am making for my daughter, and I believe that this one's gonna be frogged. Not because I don't wanna make my daughter blankets, but because I'm not really feeling the pattern. It's just gonna be a simple wave blanket, so I'm using Loops and Threads Impeccable. This is what I have so far, and it's not bad. It's cute, I like it. I was just gonna alter between a darker pink than this and then a white. But I don't know. I kind of want to get a little bit more creative. I want to maybe use this yarn to do a star blanket instead. I feel like that'll be so fun and so cute. Or maybe just find a different pattern. I don't know. I think this one's going to be frogged and this yarn's going to be used for a different blanket for her. Or maybe even like a sweater or something for the winter. But this one's going into the frog pile, but still being used as something for our little girly that's coming in hopefully a few little weeks here. We are moving on to our last 2 whips. Oh my gosh, cannot believe we made it this far. This is a pretty decent sized basket. And this is what it looks like on the top, which I promise you is not a yarn stash. This is all the colors that I'm using for this project. So it's all loops and threads soft classic, which I love this yarn. I think it's great. It's a great value. Let's see, how many yards are in a skein again? I know it's pronounced skein, and I just learned that like a week ago, but I feel like that just sounds so wrong. So I'm just gonna keep calling it a skein, and haters can come for me in the comments. I don't care. So digging through all of the colors, let's get to the project. So this one is a gorgeous tulip blanket. These colors were used in a granny square blanket that I made for my daughter. It was the first blanket that I made for her, and I had leftover yarn. So I thought, why not make this little lap blanket? It looks so cute. I love the colors, and I love the alternating. It's just like a nice pastel rainbow vibe, but I have not touched it in a long time, and I really don't want to frog it. I don't have the heart to frog it, but I haven't touched it in a long time. So I think this one's gonna stay on the back burner, and I am just gonna leave it until, I almost undid one of my little tulips, sorry. I am gonna leave it until I feel like working on this one again. I think it's just a gorgeous piece, and whether I keep it on the couch as I originally planned or give it to my daughter, I think I really want to finish this one. I just need to find the motivation and the time between my other 1, 2, 3, 4 whips. We've reduced this a lot, and I am so happy. So I've had this Bernat blanket yarn for a long time. I only had the gray, and then I decided, let's get this white and make something really pretty, and my little note just came out. But I decided let's go with the basic white and gray look, because I have a lot more colorful stuff, not much neutral stuff. And I thought, let's make a shell stitch blanket. I thought it was going to be a lot easier than it was. It's not hard. It's just gigantic. Like, it's big. And also, as you can see, like I said, I hate weaving in ends. So those are all just kind of there. I don't have the heart to rip this out. Again, not one that I've touched in a while, but I just do not have the heart to rip this out. I feel like it's going to be such a soft and cuddly blanket when it's done, and it's going to be so big. And I have, I think, 3 of these in total, not including this one. And I think 2 more of this. I might need to get more, but I can't. I really can't. Look at these shells. Look at the hard work. How could I frog this? So I think this one's just gonna sit and collect dust until I touch it again. So that's it. We're done going through all the whips. I think that was a really good thing to do, and I'm glad I hopped on camera to do it. It was an awesome success in my opinion. I got rid of 3 projects in addition to the ones that I got rid of before off camera, before I decided to even make this YouTube channel. But getting rid of 3 projects was awesome. Like, I'm not doing anything. They don't bring me joy. I'm not feeling them. So you know what? They're frogged. They're out. It's all good. I can use the yarn for something else. Now, again, credit to Elise Rose Crochet for all these amazing tips, like the little notes in your whip baskets or bags or wherever you're keeping them. And again, in no way am I sponsored by Michaels. I just wanted to give a shout out for my favorite place that I love to go shopping for all of my yarns and notions and any other organizational supplies. I will probably do an update on my whips and see where I'm at eventually, so stay tuned for that. And if you have any whips in progress, however many you have, or any tips you have for, you know, like going through them and bringing down your pile, are you more of a multiple whips person? Are you a no whips person? Leave it in the comments. I'd love to get to know you. Thank you all for watching and taking some time out of your day to support me. And please hit that like button, subscribe, and yeah, comment your number of whips below and tell me, are you multiple or no whips person? Anyways, see you all next time. Have a great day. Bye.